What's up, guys? We are back. Peach Fuzz, episode 19. A bit overdue on this one,
Yeah,
but
bit of a delay.
we had to get in here. We're definitely already in the thick of it. Well, we got a 1 day break last Friday after BT's championship, straight into Saturday state games of Georgia. But man, we've been looking forward to closing things out for the high school season on here. Episode 19. It's been crazy. 19 episodes this year, which has been really, really fun. The support has been unreal. We were kind of getting chirped up, not having it, the Sunday right after the championships, but we had an event that day, and we're getting some shout outs from some Gordon Lee guys, some Lowndes guys. So we're tip to tip on the in the state of Georgia. So it's been awesome to see.
That's been the coolest part. I mean, I feel like I didn't go to a game from I will say episode 3 or 4 on where somebody didn't mention Peach Fuzz at a game, whether it was in the playoffs and the regular season. It's been pretty cool. Just walking around, just people watching is just insane to me. I mean, last year we did this, and just this year it's just been so insane how much bigger it's gotten, how fast, and we're gonna do some fun stuff with it this summer. But yeah, we had to get in here and finish this high school season off because we got some fun state championships last week.
Yeah, no doubt. It was action packed. I was over at Rome the whole time. You were over at Gwinnett. You and Avery were there tag teaming that, which was awesome. But for me, Gordon Lee and Pepperell kicked it off. The crowd was great. Chickamauga traveled well. Pepperell's right down the road, so right away that stadium at Rome is really good for state championships. I think you can still pack it out. It's still the plate's still pretty close, so it still feels like a high school type environment, especially with it packed out. And from the jump, it was a great game. I mean, Gordon Lee, you can't go without mentioning Brady Little. Absolutely went off. Two of his hits were go-ahead hits in the series. Had 2 doubles, 4 stolen bases, 3 runs scored, I think, and it was just fun to watch in the leadoff spot. A sophomore like that thriving in that type of environment. So. It was a bit of back and forth a little bit. They hung in there. Cade Middleton looked great for Pepperell in that game too. Just kind of ran into some tough luck. Maddox Millard, first look at him, and he was outstanding uncommitted junior for Gordon Lee. Mid upper 80s arm, 3 pitches, going all different directions. So obviously Pepperell ended up taking that one, but Aiden Goodwin was great. Pepperell jumped on him early, but they did bounce back. Like I said, Brady Little came up with a couple of really, really big hits, and Maddox Millard took it home in game 2.
Yeah, I mean that's a fun one to start with. I started off with probably maybe the best 2-game series I had all week with Noonan and Houston County. Awesome crowd came from Noonan traveling. I think it was about a 2-hour drive up from Noonan's Carrollton area up to Gwinnett, which is kind of a haul. Same thing for Houston County. I think they were 2.5 hours, so both had a little bit of a journey, but both traveled well. Hayes McGinnis came out on top in game 1, a guy we've talked about a ton this spring, sophomore righty shortstop who's really done it all for this Noonan team this spring. Went complete in game 1 in a 3-1 win with 10 Ks. Dove into the dugout with 2 outs in the 7th, full on head over shoulders, into the dugout on his head. Sprinted back to the mound and everybody came to check on him, Coach Gilmore and everybody else, and was like,
he's not coming out.
No, I've never seen a kid more adamant. I mean, just leave me alone. I'm good. Just get on my face.
Locked in.
Yeah, we're finishing this right now. And that's what he did. And then in game 2, they came out and just the timely hitting in game 2, they really put it on Houston County from the start. I went in 11-1 and kind of just punched them in the face and it didn't stop. They got hits from, I think, 6 out of the lineup that day. Let's see. Let me go back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Yeah, 6 out of the lineup with hits that day. 2 hits from Zach Kilby, 2 hits from Reese Davis, and then 2 hits from Caden Lamb. So it was a big day from them. Brody Campbell came through with a couple big knocks as well. Caden Truitt looked really good. It was just a complete team effort from these guys. They were ready for the moment. It was probably the most complete team win I saw all year. I mean, they were rare. They played for each other, and it really showed in the biggest stage. So shout out to the Cougars, their first state championship since 1991. So that's a big deal for
that's
that.
Big time.
Yeah, we haven't had a school around here who's done that recently. So big time to get them, and they're really young. Losing, I think, 2 or 3 everyday seniors from this class, so they have a chance to bring it back next year. So shout out to Noonan and a really big win in that one.
Yeah, Brody Campbell really came on strong there in the playoffs. I think he had a home run in that Final Four series, maybe
I
a
think he
really
had
big home
two home runs.
run. Yeah. So that's awesome for him. Like I said, QB1, athlete types always shine in the biggest moments. Brody and Hayes, obviously, really good duo there for Noonan. But yeah, that was quite the way to kick it off. We didn't.
Not to say that I wasn't expecting somebody to win, but you weren't expecting that type of performance to come out. Houston County was a team we've talked about as being one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the state, probably from opening day till the Final Four. So to come on and put it on a team like that, I think they scored 2 runs total in the series. Shout out to Isaiah Gallison, hit one of the 2 home runs throughout the entire week in Gwinnett. In the first game, pulled one to the pull side for surprised everybody because it didn't even look like it got out, but it was like over this LED wall, so it kind of cleared everything and confused everybody. But big shout out to Zay, and he's been kicking off the summer pretty hot as well. So they'll be back. Houston County will be back next year, and I think it's going to be a team that you're always going to see in that Final Four to state championship push every year.
Yeah, no doubt. I was going to jump over real quick. Obviously, we didn't get a chance to get down to Georgia Southern for the private and the 1A Division II. We talked to some GHSA guys. I think we got in the works to maybe get it a little closer next year, just because it's so hard. Obviously, such a short staff and sending somebody that far. But obviously, Calvary Day Savannah, that's awesome for them for it to be down there. I heard it was packed, probably over 2,000 people, they said. But Calvary Day ends up getting the win in that one. Quinn Johnson was great. I got to see him in the Final Four, luckily. And then Lanier County ended up getting Wilcox County in 3 games. So exciting series. It appeared down at Southern for that Wilcox Lanier County, and then Calvary Day and Savannah Christian. So shout out to those guys getting those championships wrapped up. For me, I went on to finals. Next day was 3A, Cherokee Bluff, Troup County. Man, Troup County, we were talking about it. Obviously, got to see them, Georgia Dow Club, early in the year. We saw Davis Munkus, we saw Jake Perry, but they really, really put it all together with guys like Chase Mosley, Torian Delaney, I believe, and they just really put together a team. You're not going to beat them at the plate. They're going to find ways to get on base. Cherokee Bluff bounced back in a big way in Game 2, came up with a really, really big win. Game 3 came down to the wire. Davis Munkus gave up 2 or 3 runs early. They get a big pickoff on third base that kind of killed some Cherokee Bluff momentum and shut them out from there. The offense was great. He had a hit later in the game. I know I need to go back and rewatch all my stuff to relive this stuff. I feel like it was so long ago.
But I was just thinking the same thing.
But it was some timely hits from Troup. It was, like I said, really big outing from Munkus on the mound. He gave, like I said, I think he had 30 or 40 pitches in the first inning, I want to say, and he bounced back and ended up staying under 100 for the complete game.
Yeah, and I think he went the whole game without a K either. So he pitched around a lot, got some outs, let the defense work. So it was just an impressive way to keep runners off base there in that one without having a strikeout pitch to go to in that outing. It felt like.
Yeah, it was a fun environment too. Troup traveled well for being so far away, and like I said, cool seeing them at the beginning of the year and then seeing them at the end of the year. Just the development of that team, the pieces that stepped up was really, really cool to see.
And you mentioned it, but bouncing back from a Game 2 loss of, I believe it was 15-0.
15,
yeah. To come back from that, next day you have to forget this is it. You go home, you lose again, and you back and win.
Tempers flared a little bit towards the end of Game 2, so I knew it was going to be a bit of a matchup in Game 3, which is fun. You love that in playoff baseball. It wasn't anything crazy, but just a little back and forth to get both sides fired up a bit for Game 3. Shout out Troup, really, really strong team, really fun team, and they're not losing much. Jake Perry's back. Munkus is obviously back as a sophomore, so the 1-2 punch is back. And
Garrison Edwards, I believe.
Edwards, yep, he was great. And I'm missing one more, the third baseman. I need to go back and look. He had a really good game for them. So, but yeah, they'll be back. It seems, and fighting for another 3A state championship.
Yeah, man, love to see it. You went from 3A. I went to 6A in the middle of the week for this one with Walton and Lowndes. A really impressive showing from Lowndes, and from Walton in this one. Lowndes riding the high after coming off a 2-game sweep over Etowah, came in with a lot of momentum. Obviously, Walton with the same momentum, beating a really quality, deep, experienced North Gwinnett team with 17 seniors. So they were feeling it coming to this one. And, man, shout out to Highland Brown in game one. This is a guy who's kind of dealt with a little bit of everything over his high school career, a couple injuries, really hasn't had a chance to really put it all together for a long period of time. And to come out and throw a complete game shutout in the state championship is just the biggest of moments for him and for that team. He was ready for it. He knew he had the experience to pitch against a lineup like Lowndes, and he showed it. Again, another team that got timely hits throughout the game. I think 7 out of 9 in the lineup had hits. Todd Haley was huge in the series, had 3 RBIs, a couple big barrels. Walker Killamette didn't get out for 2 games. He went 5 for 5.
Crazy.
5 for 5 with 2 walks. I believe he had 2 stolen bases as well, a triple. Just kind of made a crazy Willie Mays type over the shoulder catch that was definitely might have been an inside the park home run for how big Gwinnett plays. So it really was a game-changing play, and he kind of did it all, and he kind of just filled that role. We fell in love with it for the last few years as a select guy last year as well, and just kind of the gamer type who just doesn't hurt you in any way and can also win you a game anytime you need it. So huge to see that from them. Game 2, they came out. The bats were still hot. Logan Weidman pounded one off the wall. Walker Killamette again with 3 for 3 in that one, 2 runs. Todd Haley again with 2 more hits. They really showed out. The whole team was hitting. Jackson Taylor had a couple big timely hits. Josh Siegel was big in game 2. Aaron Smith was huge out of the pen in this one, went 3 1/3, 4 Ks, shutout.
And it's awesome to see like seniors like that. It's seniors that that have just supported that team over the last 2 or 3 years, and getting that chance to get that moment in that final season is awesome. Like guys like Aaron, guys like Highland. Especially like you said,
William Crowell was really big in this one. A guy who's just getting his chance behind the plate this year after being behind a couple big names last year with Davis Wright and Levi Clark. So him getting his chance as a senior this year was huge. So yeah, I think this team was ready for the moment. Obviously, Lowndes being back-to-back state champions, obviously they know how to win in this situation as well. So to beat a team like that who just beat maybe the best team in the state on paper, and then coming in there and really putting it to them over 2 games is massive for the Raiders. And really shout out to that whole coaching staff. Are close to a few of those guys over there, so really cool for them.
Yeah, and you mentioned Killamette. Just like it popped up in my head, like he was a guy that we saw last year as a sophomore. It's like this kid's really got a chance. But there's been so many guys like that have just like put a statement on it this junior year, and our phones are blowing up from coaches.
Yeah, dude.
And we're like, man, we saw it as a sophomore, and it's like the development over the last year for some of these guys, like guys like Todd, guys like Killamette. Trying to think guys that I saw. Gaines, we just saw Ethan England,
and that just goes with the new recruiting rules. Like obviously, a lot of these kids you thought you might be August 1st guys last year. With the new recruiting rules, guys had to see the development as a junior. You don't want to commit a kid in August and not know if it's going to develop over the next year. So a lot of these guys have been waiting to see with a lot of these bodies, and now they're showing out. Like you just mentioned, they put together these huge. Even Logan Weidman for that front, like teams missed on his brother.
It's been like steady climb for him.
Yeah, teams missed on the brother last year. Got to Western Kentucky, probably should have been out of Power 4. So I don't think that happens again. And I just think teams are taking notice now. They're really sitting back and waiting and watching. So the recruiting isn't done for a lot of these 26s. I know it's a stressful time, but yeah. Just keep putting the performances together. And obviously, I've had, I think, 15 coaches follow in the last 2 days. Like summer's here. It's that time.
Oh, yeah. The 26s, they're
the Power 4 schools are still adding 26s. I was texting coaches yesterday. Like, they're always recruiting. Teams that are still in the tournament, always recruiting. So it's just never quit playing, never quit putting in that work. And it's just the time will come.
Yeah, it's those stories like that are always fun for me. We love finding the young guys coming up. We love seeing the kids commit, but seeing those kids that don't get it right away and now it's coming, this summer it's always awesome to see.
Caden Campbell, shout out to Caden with Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State.
That's huge. And
all those will start rolling in. All those guys in that 26 article that we just dropped last week with our rankings, we put in 25 uncommitted names, and then we put in those, how many we had a ton of spring movers in there too.
Yeah.
So those are like
this week with the 27s. It's just
must sign guys that we put in there for the 26s. So it's coming. No worries. Next game for me, Rockmart, Franklin County. This was one for me. Like getting to see Peoples in this setting was really, really cool to see. Unfortunately, he did face two of the tougher lefties in the state, and Hunter Atkins and Trey Luke. Had a strong showing, led off the game with a loud barrel, but still showed the normal swings of the dish. He went and got quite a few balls in center too that were really impressive. Like I said, I didn't get to see him as much this spring. I know you got out to see him a couple times. We got to see him at Georgia Dot Club. Big Hudson Huff was in the 2-hole behind him.
Dude, that's been huge, man. He's like really stepped up in the playoffs. Like he barely played in the regular season. I mean, he played some more towards the end, but to be batting in the 2-hole in the state championship is awesome for him. Big shout out to Huddy on that one.
Yeah, it was fun. Keith Harbin at short was great. Lucas Beasley as well. But man, shout out to Rockmart. Big Hulsey went 3 for 3 game 1. Select future gamer for us. Just missed a home run off the top of the wall. That place would have erupted if he would have hit a home run. But Hunter Atkins set the tone from the start on the mound and at the plate. I think he drove in maybe the tying run, go-ahead run in game 1, but just fills it up. It's anywhere from mid to upper 80s, touching 90 at times, 3 pitches for strikes. Not going to out-compete him, and it was just fun to watch. And then go right back to it. Trey Luke does the same exact thing. 84, 86, bumps 87, 3 pitches for strikes, competes, big double at the dish as well. A couple hits in that state championship game. And that was kind of all it wrote. Franklin County couldn't really scratch anything across, had a couple chances, couple double plays, things like that. But it was all Rockmart in that one. They put together a heck of a run this year, and wouldn't be surprised if they're back at it next year. I saw Gage was up to 88 on the mound. Today for TL10 or yesterday maybe. So I'm sure we'll see him in the mix for them next year. Obviously, you got Trey coming back as next year, and a lot of good pieces. Sophomore Brax McBride was big too. He had 3 hits in the championship. Freaking missed 2 of them. Security guard messed with my camera one time, and then another time it just like zoomed out. Luckily, I got a 3rd hit of the night, but I was going to feel bad if I didn't get any hits from him. Sophomore for them had a really good night. But shout out to the Rockmart guys. Lefty duo was fun to watch.
Yeah, and I think that Rockmart team, they came into this playoffs like they had one of the more brutal ways to go out last year with some controversy in that one, some power line issues and whatnot. So
Trey hit it.
Trey hit it. So to bounce back, Trey to pitch game 2 to win it, for them to get back to beat a team, to beat some teams that they beat in this playoff run was huge. And I know they really wanted to win this one after having a really close chance of doing it last year. So yeah, shout out to that team. I know they're really fired up about that win for sure. Nealon's the guy. He was juiced about going 3 for 3 in the state championship for sure. So that's big for him.
Yep, fun one. That was a fun one. Then the big finale. Couldn't have asked for a better finale for you.
I couldn't have asked for a better finale. I mean,
storybook. I mean, it's pretty much storybook.
It was crazy.
Us.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. Like with the environment, we kind of knew a game. If we got to game 3, it was gonna be how it went. Like it was. I was talking to the boys before. Like it was either gonna be game 3 was gonna be a blowout in the first, or we were getting the best game of the year. And that's what happened. It went back and forth. First 2 games split with Cartersville and BT here in the 5A state championship. Nate Russell was huge in game 1 for Cartersville. Pitched really.
What a year he's had!
Dude, awesome. Another one of those 26 guys who's going to pop, and somebody's going to find it and be like, "Oh, okay, here we go. We got a guy who's going to be 92, 94 with a banger slider and a changeup." So it's just QB1 guy type came in, pitched, was ready for the moment, pitched big. Game 2, we saw Joseph Contreras staying in a winner go home situation, really show out, pitched out of some big spots in that one. They got some timely hits from a lot of guys in that one. Caden Dawson was huge all series long. The game 2, who came up in game 2 big? It feels like so long. It's only a week ago. Aiden Zagran was big. Carson Zagran was big. Wesley Bass had a big two RBI knock as well. They were ready. And then game 3, man, like, it went back and forth early. Cole Crawford was barreling balls. Cartersville went up.
Huge playoffs for him.
Huge playoffs for Cole. I mean, and Braden Logan as well, another 26 guy that we really don't talk about a ton. Outfielder, really physical football player for them. Really kind of showed out in the middle of that lineup for them as well. Andrew Purdy was pitched around. I wouldn't say pitched around, but he wasn't getting a ton of stuff to hit early. So they were trying to make other guys beat him. David Vargas, a freshman we've talked about a lot this year, came through with big. Had looked really good in the field. Had 97 EV single for an RBI as well. So that's big. Him swinging it close the year is a piece for them that I think is going to be maybe a top 10 in the class type player.
Oh yeah, yep.
But yeah, back to game 3, man. Cartersville went up 6-3 early. It went back and forth, and then we went into the 7th 6-3, and I was like, I mean, here we go. It was, I think,
top of the order, right? You said
it might have been 9-1-2 in the 7th. So I was like, all right, they have a chance. And then they put 3 across. Obviously, we tied it up and went to extras. I believe something happened top 8 for top 8 runners on 2nd and 3rd for Cartersville. Vargas again at the plate hit a sharp ground ball, diving stop from Carson Zagrin at 2nd, threw the guy out of an absolute ridiculously pick and swipe from Gavin Green, a freshman behind the plate. I've talked about the confidence and the moxie that this kid shows, and it just showed up in the biggest play. Made the play, started talking right after, was ready for the moment, knew he had it, knew he was ready for the moment. So that was huge. And with Carson making the diving play, that's when you make those plays in the first half of the inning, it just always feels like you come up with a big timely hit next inning. And sure enough, they got 2 runners on the bottom of the 8th, and Carson smacks one down the line for a double. Obviously, BT walks it off in this one for their first championship since 2015, which was huge. Obviously, a really, really tough loss for Cartersville. That's back-to-back game 3 walk-offs for them in the state championship. So I know that's got to be brutal for them, but they fought to the end. Really big pitching from Maddox Frazier throughout. I mean, they got timely hits from, like I mentioned, Cole Crawford and David Vargas, but just a tough one. But just shout out to BT, man. That was a team that battled. They brought in some guys this year that came up in huge spots. Obviously, Terrence Bone coming over was massive. He came through in the Final Four match in the Elite Eight as well, and then had a big hit in this one. Really, really kick it off. They were down 3-0. I believe it might have been 6-0 early. Let me see. And then he hits the second home run of the week, pull side, to make it 6-2. And I was like, oh, that might have been the move. That might have been the movement that really sets things off. I was 4-2 at that point. So he cut it to 4. Cartersville took it to 6-3. Then they brought it back. But it was really back and forth. I was hard to keep up with. We had Preston, one of our new interns there, getting a ton of content. He was fired up. This was Avery's jump off point last year with the state championships with me. So it was cool to do that again this year with somebody new. And he's all in, putting out a ton of content this week. So I think we got a good one there. And it was just a really good week overall in Gwinnett. Obviously, being able to stay out there and get all 7 games in the week was pretty awesome. But to finish with the game 3 walk off for the final game of the high school season was pretty awesome. I say the final game of the high school season. We'll talk a little bit more about that later.
But yeah, that's true. Yep. No, that's awesome. You couldn't ask for Carson Zagrin, junior future gamer for us in 14s. At this time last year, he, same type thing. He wasn't committed. He was a senior future gamer for us. We were both kind of like, what are guys waiting on these guys? Yeah. And obviously going to Gulf Coast, massive senior year, and you never know what can happen out of Gulf Coast. Those guys did great things.
10 bombs this spring. So it was meant to be. He just came through in the biggest moments. He was big all year round. He was hitting the 2-hole for this team all year. So he was just ready for that moment. He knew it was time. Obviously one of the better kids we know. So it's just a huge, just surreal moment to have that for your last hit of your high school career as a state championship walk-off. So yeah, it's pretty awesome for him.
Yeah. Really, really cool. All good stuff there. Like I said, awesome week for us in Rome and in Gwinnett. And then one day break, and we jumped right into the high school summer season.
We're in it now, dude.
We are. That is for sure. But guys, we really just want to jump on and say thank you. Run down the playoffs briefly. Like we said, it feels like an eternity ago when we were watching those games. Congrats to all the state championship guys. Congrats to all the teams that made it that far. I think that there was some stellar seasons. It was really cool. Savannah Christian making the run they did.
And also, it was an all Savannah state championship, so that was pretty.
That's neat, awesome. Yeah, awesome for that.
Ton of talent out there, really getting the publicity they need. So that's pretty cool.
For sure. Ian just hinted it, but we bounced around. We tried to get some GIAA stuff this spring. I went all the way down to Citizen Christian. Game it up, gets canceled. Ian hopped over there a couple times, but they got quite the setup on Thursday in Columbus. And the FOMO was going to be real if one of us weren't there. So Ian and one of our new social media interns, Preston, are going to make the trip down there. And man, I'm definitely jealous. I'll be up here running a scout day for us, but
it's so hard to pass up, man. Like 4 games in one day, it's such a good day. So much talent.
Brand
He
new
starts
park.
the day with brand new park. He starts the day with Citizens Christian in the morning. Obviously, which would be electric in that one. Who else do we have this day? I was just looking at the schedule earlier this afternoon, so I'm juiced for it. I'm glad we can actually get down there. It was something I
Yeah,
really
a couple hours,
wanted to
nothing
make
too
up. Yeah,
crazy.
2 hours isn't bad. You
Yeah.
know, we've done worse. You know, and I know those guys will be juiced for us to get down there and see that. So yeah, we got Citizens Christian and Vidalia Heritage, who I believe are in the same region. So that'll be a huge one. I know it'll be packed out for that one. Gatewood in Southwest Georgia, which Gatewood with a ton of talent on that one. The Moore brothers have really shown out. Brendan Neal as well. Oh, excuse me, Brendan Neal's on Brookstone. Yeah.
Yeah, Connor Meacham on Gatewood.
Connor Meacham as well. Frederica and Pinewood at 3, at 4 will be huge, and then close the day with FPD Brookstone, which I mean you really can't pass that one on. Keon Johnson, Mercer Hudson, Brendan Neal, the one I just mentioned, who's actually on Brookstone, not Gatewood. But yeah, it should be a good day, man. I'm excited to see some new guys that I don't know about, that we haven't seen a ton of. So I think that's a big thing for me, just finding new talent. Obviously, as we get into the summer, we talk about these uncommitted guys. You want to know more about everybody. So I know teams are going to be fired up to see some GIA talent this week.
Yep. Definitely excited for y'all to get down there to see that. Like I said, really cool. I heard the park's awesome, so that'll be cool to get down there. Want to try to get down there in that area too with an event down the road. So that might, be something good that we could look at as well. But yeah, with that, guys, a lot of good stuff going on in the park. We got Lake Point Summer Open kicking off tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to touch on too, man. Shout out to everybody who's going to come out to Lake Point tomorrow, our biggest ID event to date. Yep. So I'm excited to see everybody tomorrow at Lake Point. Hopefully we get some good weather for that one. It's a little iffy, but we'll make it happen regardless. So
yeah, it's going to be a good one. We'll kick it off with that. We'll roll straight into the Prep Baseball Showdown, May 30th to June 2nd. And then, top prospect games. It's coming. 200 kids, best 27s, 28s, and 29s in the state. Sold out event, and then straight into MPI, and then straight into top prospect games. Upper class, we're looking at like 115, 120 of the top uncommitted 26s in the state. Heavy scout presence there. We're already getting text about it. Schedule, what's the schedule look like on the second day? So stay tuned for all that. We'll be pumping all that out. Underclass guys, we'll probably get an email out probably Thursday with your teams and schedule for that. We'll have a showcase on the first day, like 9 to 5-ish, 9 to 4-ish, and then 2 sets of games on the 4th, probably like 10 and 1. So pumped for that event. Future Games invites are going to be rolling out right after that thing. Same thing with the Senior Future Games. Got another event in Savannah on the 12th, and then back up at UGA on the 17th to wrap up our showcase schedule for the summer. And then it's national championships from there. So pumped to have you guys. Yep, pumped to have you guys back at the park. Same thing, just like high school season. Keep us posted. Like we look at rosters. We have interns on games, on fields. Let us know when you're going to be at the park. Let us know when you're throwing. We obviously don't want to miss it, but we will miss stuff. But if you can let us know, that helps us out.
Would be beneficial for sure.
Yeah, makes our life easier. But yeah, we got to figure out our summer schedule for this thing. We definitely want to talk about you guys this summer.
We'll send some questions out when the best day you guys want us to go live, because I think this live thing is what we're going to stick with. I think it's the most beneficial for everybody.
And I don't know what day it is in the summer. I just
me either. Yeah, you guys are going to help. You guys are going to help us with that. We haven't decided what day it is, but yeah, we'll figure that out soon. And also 2027 rankings update dropping tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. Decent.
We'll have to do a ranking show. Just all ranking.
Yeah, we can do a ranking show.
Like 2 weeks.
I really want to do a superlative show from the season, from the spring too.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we can squeeze that in next week before the spring gets too far away from us. But
cool.
We got ideas. It's just things go too fast in the summer, man. Once high school season ends,
no days off.
There's no days off. Yeah, it's just we're full blow, and I know you guys know that as well. So appreciate y'all riding with us as always.
And I'll get my GoFundMe set up for my windshield at the park. Did get shattered this past weekend.
Shout out to Jordan Langford, who's also a freak of nature on the football field. I mean, we had some Alabama teams this week, and this kid ran for 1,400 yards and 20 touchdowns as a freshman. So, yeah, it's quite silly. Won like the 3A Player of the Year as a freshman.
You think it went 380, 400?
380. It was. I think it was like 101 off the bat. Just roped it.
Smoked it.
The worst part about it was I heard it on
and
impact.
You got the video.
It sounded like it hit like a tent. because like the noise just sounded so funny. But then like you came up and showed me the picture, and I was like, oh my God, I know exactly what happened.
The right fielder's reaction's like, it just
was too perfect. But yeah, that's
we don't know when we'll get that fixed. No off, like we said, hashtag no off days, safe flight repairs, safe life, whatever that jingle is. We'll have to get that taken care of. But yeah, anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll throw this up on YouTube right after, so let anybody know it didn't get to watch. Like I said, nothing too crazy of an episode, more so just to say thank you for tuning in this spring. We've had a lot of fun seeing you guys out of the field. We need we'll do a final game tally, but we believe we're over 300, so that's always cool to see.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
I think Avery's got 100 on his belt this spring. Like he went to so many games we didn't even know about. He just like pop out the random ones, and we just like Dominion Christian last week.
We were on our intern onboarding call, and I was like, Avery, are you here? And I pull up Twitter, and it's like, oh, he's at a game.
Posting videos.
Yeah. So it's good though. I just had somebody was shouting him out a minute ago and saw him, and yeah, he's a grinder. He is on vacation, so slide in his DMs and be like, dude, where you at? Summer's kicking off and you're on vacation. His brother just graduated, so senior trip. We'll give him a few more days and then he's back at it.
Yeah, that'll be you won't miss him at the park at midnight. So
that is for sure. All right, well, guys. Good luck this summer. We'll see all you guys at Lake Point Summer Open tomorrow. Pump for that one. Rising Stars guys as well. Thank you guys for tuning in this spring, and we will see you guys out at Lake Point here soon.
Appreciate y'all. Good talking.